Buy your own fighter plane for just over $400,000. Not a scale plane, but the real thing. You can just buy a real fighter plane, used but also new. And what can you buy for just over $400,000? A 1962 Starfighter with lots of extras. This particular two-seat Canadian Starfighter was flown over 10 years by the Canadian Armed Forces, being delivered in May 1962. It served with the best squadron at Cold Lake, and when the Canadians wanted to decrease their operational F-104 fleet, they sold this jet to the Norwegian Air Force on 20 July 1973. It received serial 4633 and served 334 SQV at the Bodo Air Base until its retirement on 9 December 1982, where it was put into storage. Stay tuned for more information. Hello guys, and welcome to our channel, Fighter Jets in Action. Please subscribe and like this video, we love you for it. Sold in 1984 to Combat Jets Aircraft Museum based at Chino, California. Shortly thereafter, sold to the Combat Jets Flying Museum at the Houston, Texas, taking over the activities to achieve airworthiness again as N-104JR. On 11 November 1986, NASA Starfighter pilot Ed Schneider made its first flight under civilian registration at Mojave, California Airport. On 15 May 1992, ownership was transferred to EAA, Experimental Aircraft Association, at Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and flew demonstration at the convention that summer. The aircraft was offered for sale in December 1995 and purchased by Fuel Fresh Inc. in April 1996. It was then flown from Oshkosh to Williams Gateway Airport in Mesa, Arizona, where it's currently based. The registration number was changed to N-104 about 20 years ago. N-104 has approximately 2,500 hours total in-frame time, while the engine is about half-life since overhaul. Approximately 200 hours have been flown over the last 22 years. Current FAA registration is in the experimental exhibition category. Although it should be noted that N-104 has pre-moratorium guidelines apply, which mean it's allowed on-condition maintenance, yearly inspection under Part 43 Sub D. This is impossible to obtain today. Note, at the time, the FAA issued the pre-moratorium airworthiness to bring N number changed to N-104. The inspector stated that the papers alone were worth $1 million. Fuel Fresh Inc. has spent countless hours since 1996 accumulating spare parts, which include, among many others, 2 spare J79 engines, spare afterburner, approximately 150 main gear tires, a couple dozen nose gear tires, aileron flap rudder horizontal activators, ailerons, flaps, canopy and windscreen glass in frames, other glass, brakes, new assemblies, air-conditioned units, new overhaul, MLG shock struts, 3-axis damper amplifiers, several starters, generators, spare drag chutes, cockpit chutes, boundary layer control valves, many tip tanks, a few volumes and volumes of maintenance manuals, spare set tip charges, and many other parts of all the descriptions, barn and hangar full. Designer information. If you got something to spend, we got another bargain of the month. A 1992 McDonnell Douglas TA-4J Skyhawk for just over $3 million. $3.2 million to be exact. But that's worth it. The Douglas A-4 Skyhawk is a single-seat subsonic carrier capsule light attack aircraft developed for the United States Navy and United States Marine Corps in the early 1950s. The delta-winged, single-turbojet engine Skyhawk was designed and produced by the Douglas Aircraft Company and later by McDonnell Douglas. It was originally designated A-4D under the U.S. Navy's pre-1962 designation system. The Skyhawk is a relatively light aircraft with a maximum takeoff weight of 24,500 pounds. That becomes 11,100 kilograms and has a top speed of 670 miles per hour. That becomes 1,080 kilometers per hour. The aircraft's fire hardpoints support a variety of missiles, bombs, and other munitions. It's capable of carrying a bomb load equivalent to that of the World War II era Boeing B-17 bomber, and can deliver nuclear weapons using a low-altitude bombing system and a loft delivery technique. The A-4 was originally powered by the Wright J65 turbojet engines. From the A-4E onwards, the Pratt & Whitney J52 engine was used. Skyhawks played key roles in the Vietnam War, the Yom Kippur War, and Falklands War. In 2022, nearly 7 decades after the aircraft's first flight in 1954, some of the 2,960 produced through February 1979 remain in service with the Argentine Air Force and the Brazilian Naval Aviation. The Skyhawk proved to be a relatively common United States Navy aircraft export of the post-war era. Due to its small size, it could be operated from the older, small World II era aircraft carriers still used by many smaller navies during the 1960s. These older ships were often unable to accommodate newer Navy fighters such as F-4 Phantom II and F-8 Crusader, which were faster and more capable than A-4, but significantly larger and heavier than older naval fighters. The Navy operated the A-4 in both regular Navy and Naval Reserve light attack squadrons. Although A-4's use as a training and adversary aircraft would continue well into the 1990s, the Navy began removing the aircraft from the frontline attack squadron in 1967, with the last ones, Super Foxes of the VA-55, 212, 164, being retired in 1976. The Marine Corps would not take the U.S. Navy's replacement warplane, the LTV A-7 Crusader II, instead keeping Skyhawks in service with both the regular Marine Corps and Marine Corps Reserve attack squadrons, and ordering the new A-4M model. The last U.S. MC Skyhawk was delivered in 1979, and they were used until the mid-1980s before they were replaced by the equally small but more versatile SDOVL AV-8 Harrier II. VMA-131, Marine Aircraft Group 49, the Diamondbacks, retired its last 4 OA-4MS on 22 June 1994. Trainer versions of the Skyhawk remained in Navy service. However, finding a new lease on life with the advent of the adversary training, where the nimble A-4 was used as a stand-in for the Mikhail-Gorovich MiG-17 Dissimilar Air Combat Training (DACT). It served in that role at Top Gun until 1999. The A-4's nimble performance also made it suitable to replace the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II when the Navy downsized its aircraft for the Blue Angels demonstration team. Until McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornets were available in the 1980s, the last U.S. Navy Skyhawks, TA-4J models belonging to the Composite Squadron VC-8, remained in the military use for the target towing and as adversary aircraft for combat training as Naval Station Roosevelt Roads. These aircraft were officially retired on 3 May 2003. Skyhawks were well loved by their crews for their tough and agile. These attributes, along with their low purchase and operating cost, as well as easy maintenance, have contributed to the popularity of the A-4 with the American and international armed forces. Beside the US, at least 3 other nations have used A-4 Skyhawks in the combat: Argentina, Israel, and Kuwait. For sale at platinumfighters.com. Designer information. Well, that's it guys for today. Hope you liked this video and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for the most recent updates on fighter planes.